Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bill and Kelly early morning show. As early. I'm a little bit late today for being an early morning show. I had to get some stuff ready for you guys. Um, and boy, what a day! What a day! Boy, we had a great concert last night. Andrea from the local group was on with Peter, her guitarist, who was awesome. He plays a lot of blues, and boy, did they knock it out of the park. So we want to give a hats off um, to Andrea and Peter for putting on an amazing concert. I mean, this is they're both out of a pretty highly thought of group out of Chicago. Andrea's with the local group, and they normally don't play together, or he doesn't normally play as the guitarist. But boy, I tell you what, thank you, Andrea. I think they rose quite a bit of money for um, Sharing Notes, which is a charity out of Chicago, which is a group of musicians that go in and perform music for children's hospitals, cancer care centers, you name it. They go into the hospitals in the Chicago area and provide music. Very worthwhile charity, and so they were able to raise some money for them. And hats off to Andrea and Peter. They did an excellent job. And wasn't I right? Andrea has got some pipes. She absolutely can sing. So hopefully we're going to have them back on again. And really, I've got to tell them a thank you because that isn't very often we'll get a Chicago guest on our show, and boy, they blessed us with doing a concert for us, and may come back. We'll have to see. They have quite a few gigs lined up, virtual gigs, and we're hoping we can get them back. So coming up tomorrow night, Elzer Hernandez in concert, Facebook Live on our page at 7 p.m. And his charity that he is playing for is Camp Quality USA of Illinois. And this is a camp for kiddos who've had cancer. So very, very powerful in giving these kids some, oh, yeah, I don't know, maybe a different venue. And, I'm hopefully they're going to have camps again coming up soon because I know Children's Hospital in Chicago. There are quite a few cancer cases. So, please tune in for that tomorrow at 7 p.m. And he, again, will be playing for Camp Quality USA in Illinois. And, again, they're a children's camp for kids with cancer or they have survived cancer. So tune in for that. The other thing I wanted to bring up, and I forgot to bring this up a couple of days ago, I had it on my list and forgot about it completely. Hats off to the firefighters of Porter County. They got together and put on a special tribute for the medical workers, nurses, doctors, emergency EMS workers at the Porter Hospital. Boy, what an emotional tribute. I tell you, and no one better deserved than anywhere. I mean, just that Porter, but the EMS had the conscious decision to go ahead and do this. Drape the flag and over the entrance of Porter Hospital, and also want to bring to light, one of the things that these are heroes, but they send a very strong message to you. They're doing this with very little PPE. You know that. We hear about it day by day. They're having to reuse face masks. We're scrounging around trying to find them. And so they're out there on the front lines and endangering their lives. A lot of them know that the chances are very, very high that they're going to come down with the COVID-19 virus because they're subjected to it. They're working in units that's all the patients that they're subjected to. So their message to us, please listen to it. Dearly, please listen to it. We stay here for you. Please stay home for us. That message needs to be clear. It needs to be distinct for some numbers that I'm about to show you. again, Kelly and we went out, we're moving Kelly, and that is an essential, if you know, a lot of you know, and I'm not going to bring a thing up, but it is essential for us that we get out of this house and move over for very multiple layers of reasons. So, and, everyone knows us that knows that. So, and look at her face when she gets to this house, just absolutely awesome. So, please know that we're trying to set a good example. The reason why we are staying home, our studio's at home, I'm putting this up just as a tribute to Executive Suite Squared, who's I'm going to run a commercial, but they were blessing us with this beautiful studio. But shortly after we started using it, about a month or so, the stay-at-home order took place. What did we do? For those who have been listening to us, we moved the studio to our home. When we move to Chesterton, which should be in a couple of weeks here, we will, if that stay-at-home order is still in place, we will move our studio to our Chesterton home. Yeah, and that's the way it is. We urge you all to look at the essential things that you have to do. If you have to get meds, you have to go out and get food, you have to get gas to get to those. Because, as we interviewed someone from New Zealand, their world is completely different than ours. And I'm going to bring up some comparisons again because someone didn't get it, so I'm going to redo it. I get it because the way I did it wasn't all in one table, so I get it. So I'm going to redo that and get ready to be shocked. You will be shocked, and it may change some of your behaviors, hopefully, and may not. I say this that with the governor stating that he may relax some of these stay-at-home orders. He may know something that we don't, and I've got to say the percentage of cases that have been shown positive, the percentage of that versus the total number tested, that percentage has come down slightly, which is a hopeful indication, but it is only a small window that we can see. For those of you who know math, know this. It's only a small window that we can see what's going on. We still don't know. There's still people waiting to be tested, people that were put into quarantine because they exhibited symptoms but yet had not been tested yet. When those test kits come in, they're going to be dialed up and said, well, you need to get in here so we could see what's happening. So I got to say this continually, looking at it from an outside, we're still working in a blind. And so another hero I want to bring up that I want us all to, and yeah, boy, I'm telling you, I feel so bad about this because I know a lot of you that are listening to us, they're listening because they're home, their jobs were lost, their companies that they worked for shut down. Understand that totally. Believe me, because we are with you. There's Robin. Hey, Robin. Hey, Robin, watch these numbers I'm about to show. They're going to shock you a bit here, and I'm hoping to get back to talking about happy stuff because we all need that. Food bank, right behind the hospital. People, they're there delivering food to people, making sure people have food. And I've only known a few people. And by the way, here's the hopeful message: the checks or the deposits into our accounts are on their way. My sister received hers. She lives down in Atlanta, and I know my sister. You know my sister like I do. She over prepares. So the first day she could probably submit her tax returns, she probably did. Yes. I know why her daughters ended up like the way they do, highly successful. Well, anyway, I won't get into that much. Teresa, if you're listening, I love you dearly. So anyway, she got her check, and so that is a beacon of hope. If you guys are sitting there wondering how you're going to pay the rent, pay for food, checks are on their way, deposits are on their way. However, and again, the way that's happening, from what I understand, and I can only give you a broad explanation, if you submitted your tax returns via something like TurboTax and you provided a checking account or savings account for your returns to be deposited into. That means the IRS has that routing code. So they will deposit your monies directly. $1,200 for most of us. If you have kiddos, more. That goes all the way up, I believe, to, don't hold me to this, but I believe up to 125. After a certain level, you don't receive. They're figuring that you should have some savings. I don't know what the justification is there. But one thing I found out from my sister, anything if you earn 75,000 above, it could be proportionate what you'll receive. So there you go. Glimmer of hope. Checks are on the way. Money's on the way. And by the way, I do want to mention again that our show is not receiving any income right now. We put all of our sponsorships on pause. One of them said they're sending a check. We're going to tear it up. We haven't seen it yet. So, I mean, yeah. We want to be right there with you people that are hurting. And we're not going to accept any money. We're putting on concerts to benefit charities because we know those charities are hurting. The people that they serve are hurting. We were okay. We can, we got to GoFundMe, but I'm not even going to bring that up till everyone starts getting checks and everywhere we're somewhere back to normal. I got to tell you, I don't find that with other, but anyway, I that's where we're at right now. Big businesses over here, New Zealand, telecommunications company rerouted to helping out with food parcels and have making them up for said food banks and help behind the scenes. Yeah, and Robin over here, the National Guard is helping our food bank out. So you see that up on the screen, and that's what I need to tell you. Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, between 4 and 6 p.m. at Living Hope Church at 900 Taft Street in Maryville, there will be a mobile market by the food bank. So if you live in that general area, they will be there distributing food. And I'm telling you, if you are any hardship whatsoever, if you lost your job, you don't have your tax coup, your food stamps, whatever it may be, and because we know that process, unemployment checks are being delayed. Some people who just applied a month ago are finally getting their unemployment checks. And this is something I also want to lend you in because I had a conversation with someone that's very dear to me about this. If you were employed as a contractor, and some people don't understand this, but if you received a Form 1099, that means you're a contractor. You are not truly an employee. So if you were a 1099 employee of a company, chances are you're not going to get any unemployment payment because you are a contractor. When you operate your income under a 1099, that company sends that to you. You get a check. Usually that's done without taxes being held out. Usually without any benefits. It's just the check. Here's what we're paying you for your services. A lot of companies are doing that. So I want to urge you to make sure that if you received a 1099, you may have to search other avenues of getting relief other than unemployment insurance. The reason being is because they didn't take out any. Usually when you work for a company, they take out a portion for unemployment insurance for the state. When you're a 1099, in fact, that's one of the reasons why a lot of companies went that route, is because they could save money, particularly with temporary employees, because when your work is done, they could say, I'm sorry, goodbye, we don't need you anymore, or reduce your hours without any, they don't have to work under labor laws under a contractor. You're working as a company, so you do work for them. So just know that. And I know a lot of people misunderstand that. They feel that when they got brought on a company, you're doing work for them as an employee, but you're getting paid under a 1099. So that is, I want you all to be, if you're sitting there waiting or you go to apply, they're probably going to tell you if you were a 1099, you need to go get some relief from the bank because there are a number of small business loans available, relief funds available. So look into that. I urge you to do that. And if you think you're going to get unemployment, that's not the case. And if you were employed, truly employed, where you had taxes taken out, you had unemployment insurance taken out, you had premiums for health care taken out, then you are a true employee, and yes, you do need to go in and apply for unemployment insurance. Okay, so that's enough of that. And one thing I want to let you know on a different note, get off that for a while. David Benjamin, author, mystery writer, and a Wisconsin resident. We have a large number of people up there that listen to us from Wisconsin. I don't know. I think they want to pick fun of Bears. That's really why I think they're listening to us. Yeah, Packers fans trying to jump on our. Now, all kidding aside, we've had several people on from Wisconsin and mostly authors from some reason, but I'm not going to qualm it. David Benjamin is going to be joining us later on today at 11 o'clock. So stay tuned for that. He's got like 8 books out and mystery books, but he's a very accomplished writer. He wrote a series of essays besides his books. But I've looked at quite a few of them, and boy, I tell you, in fact, Kelly's going to tune in this because I think one is a murder mystery. He is one. His latest one is called Jailbait, which is a kind of a war, but a story about a Chicago cop that got fired for having sex with a underage prostitute. So his life story. So that's one of them, but they're not necessarily that type. In fact, he's got quite a variety of mysteries out, like I think about 8 or so in tales. So we're kind of excited to have him, and behind him we are going to be having another author from the Chicagoland area coming on. So please stay tuned for all these events as they come up. You'll see them pop up. A lot of puzzle pieces, both with our concerts and our guests coming on. One thing I do have to, I'd be negligent if I did not bring this up. We had an opening, and Habitat for Humanity took it, and that's going to be 11 o'clock tomorrow. They will come on to talk to us about a virtual run that will be happening this weekend. And what that is it's kind of neat, actually. It's obviously we can't have these runs anymore, but a lot of people relied on those as fundraisers. So someone had the bright idea, because we all have these apps, Map Your Run, Track My Run, you name it. Boy, I wish I could get back running. That makes me depressed just talking about it. Man, I struggle with my running. Used to run like 5 miles a day, and now I'm down to like 1, and I'm struggling with that. But I got to get the weight off. Anyway, someone came up with the idea to have a virtual run. So all you people have these apps and whatnot that track. So what they're asking you to do is talk where, if you're doing it, you could do it on a treadmill, you could do it out in a park. But they're asking to track your time, and then from what I understand, and that's why she's coming on tomorrow to give us specifics, you can submit your time, and we'll see. But anyway, more about that tomorrow. So please tune in tomorrow, and that will be another edition of Habitat for Humanity TV, which they've done one already, and this is a perfect instance for them to come on and use our platform again. Boy, is that, yeah, wow, that's it. Now you get to look at my beautiful face. Sorry. That's why Kelly's sleeping. She doesn't want to deal with my beautiful face. So anyway, that's what we have for today. Gosh, I want to urge you again. I hear so many stories, and I do want to say we are going to support an action that was taken yesterday that is kind of controversial, but we understand why it was taken, and we actually, as a media outlet ourselves, support it. And some others may have done this, but during the COVID-19 update put on by the administration staff, WGN decided to pull the plug. And what happened again is that it got kind of controversial. It turned into more of a political platform for the president than it did giving valuable and meaningful and hopeful information about what is happening on our behalf on the COVID-19 on what the government is doing on our behalf. And so it turned into a shouting, name calling, and as typical. And I'm going to tell you, and this is from our perspective, when people are out there without jobs, when people are struggling with health care, when they don't have means to get food, the last thing you want to hear about is a childish behavior when we should be getting real, meaningful information. This is not a political statement. This is a logical statement. When a media outlet finds out that they're hurting their listeners as opposed to providing benefit, we support that move wholeheartedly. Pull the plug. We don't need to hear this lambasting, if you will. And some negative information came out, whether it's true or not, about the delayed response to the COVID-19 in the United States. We get that. Yeah, we don't know the full story, what was done, what wasn't. But what is wrong right now when you have your complete citizenship tuning in to trying to find out what you're doing to get more PPEs for hospital workers. What are you doing to increase the amount of test kits? What about those ventilators? We have people dying. All right. And, I've received one story that they were waiting for a ventilator to get transferred from one patient. They were literally bagging someone. If for those of you who are medically oriented, you know what bagging is. You have to give them manual ventilation because they can't breathe on their own because their lungs are so contaminated. So there's stories like that out there. To sit in front of the public and, again, defend yourself by lambasting others, that is not appropriate. And I agree with WGN for pulling the plug. And they also, WGN is probably one of the best media outlets in the Chicago area that is totally unbiased. In fact, they went on in a statement. If you want to see their statement, I believe they put it up justifying the reasons why they decided to pull the plug on the press conference. And they've criticized Mayor Lightfoot, and they've also criticized Governor Pritzker for things that they did which they consider hypocritical. Huh, now you can't talk. Need more coffee. I'll be back with you in a second. So, and that's why we listen to WGN and watch them. Not only are they entertaining in the morning, and boy, are they. If you listen to their news, they are totally down the center. Very objective. Never do they criticize anyone. In fact, they took this effort and they were not criticizing the president. They just said that they found that the information being disseminated was hurtful to their listening public, and they feel if this was a presidential campaign, he needs to pay for an ad. His campaign needs to pay for an ad, not do it through a public press conference that is meant to provide us information on the COVID-19 outbreak. So that's where you have it. And we are very apolitical. But I am just saying that we are supporting WGN in their response to what happened yesterday. And if this happens again, we totally agree that they do it again. It's not anything against anyone. It's just that, hey, when you have people out there hurting, waiting for checks that you were promised, and for no fault of their own, and we talked to people that in fact, someone just messaged us saying, hey, can you put out a word asking, giving my GoFundMe because I ran out of insulin and I can't, I don't have insurance, I don't have any. I don't know what happened with that. We're going to try to find out, but there's thousands of people out there like that. And so, enough of this. Boy, oh boy. Okay, concerts. Boy, howdy, man. We have collected over $1,000 for various different charities. In fact, we're going to be totaling it up today. And again, that's done through Facebook donations. We are, other than providing our our Facebook page for these artists to come on and play. We're just, yeah, we just sit back and enjoy. We don't collect anything. We don't take any portions out of it because there's people. Let me name a couple of them. Food Bank has having to quadruple their food output. I mean, their need out there is quadrupled. Their intake has been reduced, so they need help. I mean, they are, like I said, behind the health workers. So we're going to do some things for Food Bank. Um, Habitat for Humanity. Boy, talking about getting zapped, they create affordable housing for people in need. But their means, the restores, have been pretty much shut down. You could still get things through the restore, but it's got to be done through online orders. You can't it just can't drive there and walk through anymore. You've got to go online, and they've been doing a very good job of putting things up there that they have in the restore, so you could purchase through them and they'll deliver it, but it's got to be done through the garage. You got to arrange to have your garage door up and so on. So, we're doing stuff for them. And I'm very happy to say I think we've raised about $500 for Habitat for Humanity. And Food Bank, I think they're about $300 between my birthday fundraiser and another concert that we've done. So we're happy with that. I mean, we're happy that we're able to, number one, provide enjoyment, provide entertainment, and as well get some money to a great organizations out there. So we're really happy about that. Um, we're going to continue doing that. In fact, Kelly and I talked about it. Gosh, is this what we were meant to do? And definitely, I mean, we've always wanted to have a talk show. In fact, I think a lot of you know that. We started creating a talk show, a live one, and we did two of them actually, and people found them quite entertaining. And what it basically is like a late night format, like Colbert or many of those guys, Jimmy Fallon, you name it. So it's not obviously on a less scale. We can't do what they do because we don't have the millions in production. But providing a show where we have people on that we can interview, and in addition to having guests on to interview, whether they are actresses, actors, or authors, or non-for-profits on, and that's what we feel that we'd be unique in, that what we've always done is we've always supported non-for-profits, and so have them in an avenue that kind of elevates their message, because it's going to be sandwiched between music and comedy and entertainment. So that's what our goal was, and boy, it seems like it's coming virtually to fruition. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess what this has done is leveled the playing field, actually, because when I look at Colbert or James Corden, who had, I think, one of his first stay-at-home shows last night, I'm thinking they're not doing much more than we do. We've got music on virtually through Zoom. We've got, so I'm thinking we're maybe not as polished. I don't know. Sometimes I look at James, and I think that's part of his act as being unpolished. And Colbert, he's a professional. I mean, he's a professional actor, and we can't maybe compete with him. But I'm looking at like Fallon and those guys, and I was like, Kelly, we could do this now. It's a level playing field. We don't have to have these big fancy TV cameras, and yeah. So I don't know. You never know. You never know how long this lasts. It is what it is. Boy. Oh, hey, Robin's got dishwashing liquid and water on the floor. Hold on, the bench. There's a video with this me. Boy, I may not be able to show it this time, but probably tomorrow, Robin. Just send me the link. Gosh, I feel like Robin's becoming a co-host here. Well, to have you back on, Robin. Yeah, give us the lowdown. What's going on in New Zealand, the true land down under. Yeah, those Aussies always call it Australia down under. Well, New Zealand is even further down under. So, Yeah. But I hope those numbers. Before I leave, and I'm going to leave here soon, but I feel like I almost need to show you that again. God, did I show it to you? If not, you know what? I am going to. Hold on, just bear with me a second, folks. Apologize for the delay. Maybe I didn't show it to you guys. I thought I did. Okay, bear with me, folks. I did not. And yeah, let me do that now. You guys just bear with me. You're seeing a lot of production stuff that normally is hidden from you, right? Yeah, it's all good. Okay, where is that? Um, ah, gosh, I didn't. Ah, boy, I can't believe. Yeah, let me fine tune it here because this is going to be shocking. Gosh, in fact, I woke up late last night thinking I needed to do this. And guess what? Okay, I think that is in plain sight of everybody. So, not just because Robin, we have a very good friend down there now. I looked at what was happening in New Zealand. Now, New Zealand is given quite a bit small, not quite a bit, by about 2 million than Indiana. Can't compare it to the United States. The United States is huge, but New Zealand has about 4 million people, and 2018, I believe, is the count. And Indiana, our state that we live in, has 6,737,000 million. And now the Lake County area, the county that we live in, that's within Indiana, for those who are not familiar with Lake County, Indiana, has 485,493. Now, here's the COVID cases reported. In New Zealand, the entire country has 1,072. In Indiana, there's 8,236 currently. And in the county of Lake County, there's 796 deaths. New Zealand has lost 9 people due to the COVID 19 virus. Indiana has lost 350 to date. In the Lake County, Indiana, of that 350, 26 were lost just in Lake County alone. Now, here's what you have to do when you have various different countries, various different size. You have to break down things per capita, or in this case, to make it a little bit more graphical for you, I provided a calculation that broke it down per 100,000 people, otherwise 100,000 citizens. New Zealand currently, per 100,000 citizens, has 21.94 cases of COVID 19. Indiana, and this is what I found shocking, Indiana has 122.25 per 100,000. And then Lake County, this is even more shocking, which Lake County, I believe, is second in the state in COVID 19 cases, has 163.95 cases per 100,000. Yeah, that, again. So let's look at the deaths per 100,000. In New Zealand, it's 0.184. In Indiana, it's 5.195, and in Lake County, 5.35. So there you go. And that is a telling factor, really truly comparing apples and apples and oranges and oranges. You've got to do that to figure the impact that it's had. So when we started talking to Robin and finding how very strict their lockdown is compared to our stay at home, those are the telling numbers. I mean, they have less impact on their nation than we have. So, and this is why, when we ask our elected officials, what are you doing to curb this? And they respond negatively. Um, oh, Robin, I couldn't agree more. And yeah, and they respond trying to blame everyone else as opposed to saying, here's what we're doing. Here's how many masks we've got coming. Here's how many ventilators we're going to provide. And it ends up being this lambasting, criticizing the other party, criticizing the media. Um, People, I'm willing to tell you, they forgot about politics. They're concerned about how they're going to feed their kids. They're concerned about how they're going to get health care. They're going to be concerned about what's going to happen if they start exhibiting symptoms. The last thing they need to hear is someone placing blame on someone. And I'm not being political, that's just a fact. People out there are hurting, severe hurting, and that's why we're doing what we do. And we will continue doing what we do. And I again, this is not political. Do not take this as political. It is an urgent on our elected officials to get before the camera and do your job. I'm going to say that again. Do your job. In fact, I wish we would just pause the election and say, guess what? There's too much going on, but that isn't happening. Wisconsin is an excellent example that they tried to pause it so people would be safe, and look what happened. Politics needs to take a back seat or pause until we get over this epidemic. People's lives are at stake, and we need to concentrate on funding doctors, funding research, funding the PPEs, getting people safe. Scuba mask. Ah, yeah. I hope, man. I hope, because right now we're talking to some nurses that they've got theirs in their back pocket and they're reusing them, their masks. So something needs to be done. And also the other thing we've got in queue and we're waiting. I'm negligent because we've been moving and we've been concentrating things on the move, and that's not an excuse. There's a company out there that was put together by some nurses and doctors that are providing material for people to make masks at home. As you're sitting at home, what a better way! Oh boy, because people that are without jobs, what a better way to stay active other than listening to the Bill and Kelly show. You guys realize I'm joking, right? I mean, gosh, I can see some, oh, yeah, he thinks we listen to the show. Yeah, well, what do you listen to? Seriously, what do you listen to? I want to know. Um, yeah, but yeah, Robin, we appreciate you. In fact, keep that information coming. If we become an international show, thanks to Robin. So, yeah, we love you, Robin. Man, we got it. We've got to tune into you today sometime. Yeah, we'll do another Zoom session with our New Zealand reporter. Man, yeah, she's provided a great amount of information about what it looks like to be a citizen of New Zealand. Just from the perspective of what impact it's had on her kids, was huge. It's always interesting to look at what happens in other nations, and yeah, been isolated. We hear you, boy, oh boy, yeah, yeah, and that's what Robin will attest to. I mean, there can't do much, and because there isn't a whole lot to do because everything is shut down with the exception of bare essentials, and I wish we would get to that here, but um, one of the things that I've heard that really bothers me, as a matter of fact, and I'm going to switch it back to the video. Okay, enough of those numbers, right? You get to look at my beautiful face again. Yeah. Um, when we hear people coming up with responses and why the economy is so important. I know the economy is very important, but we are now, and I often put this to people, and sometimes they like what I have to say, and sometimes they're angered. And I said I can't help but think that all things happen for a reason, and probably we became too centristic, too materialistic, and this is a way of telling us care for other people. This isn't just about you, and this isn't just about your money that you bring in. And I know people are out there hurting, and I don't deny that a bit. And I feel for them, I really do. But when statements are made like we have to care for our economy to provide a means of support for these people, my response is, what if there aren't that many people left? Think about that. What if there are not that many people left? We open an economy at the salvation of income. You know, and I think that this is where we're headed. I think the days of people living in huge houses that they once could afford is going to go away. I think those are going to be open on the market again. I really think we're looking at a notching down of our society. Just I'm logistically, this is not a political statement. This is not a socialist statement. This is looking at logically a federal government that is not going to be able to fund itself because there's no that much taxes coming in. They are funding people. More money is going out than they'll ever see back. So, the devaluation, we have to look at the devaluation of the dollar. We're looking at companies, small companies that used to employ people that have disintegrated just within a month. They've said we can't do this. And look at the streets, close signs, permanently closed signs. I'm just not trying to be an alarmist. I'm just trying to be. This seems to be where we're headed. Um, the wheelie bin rubbish. And I can't help but think if you think about it in a materialistic sense of a point of view, we have people out there trying to save the economy, which is a valid effort, but we have a fine balancing act: save the lives versus the economy. Um, exactly, Belinda. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Uh, yeah. Yes. Yep, enjoy, save money, enjoy our families. We need to slow down, smell the roses, love each other, save money, and enjoy our families. Exactly. And the key thing is enjoy our families, as that's all we have left. Uh, yep, Belinda. By the way, Belinda, did you know that the Moran Inn was featured in, well, not featured per se, but was in an article in the Times recently? Yeah, they listed you as one of the businesses that were open down in uh, yeah, yeah. So yeah, we're running through, and so they have an inn right next to a golf course, and so yeah, Belinda, I hope everything's going okay out there. But again, that's one thing I think that maybe that's what this all is about. That we need to slow down and rethink about what our life's directive is. I'm just saying. I just when you take away the daily grind, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but oh well. Any rate, that's it. Again, I hope you guys are tuning in to concerts. We got more on the way. I apologize for not getting the schedules out there, but this is how it's going. I mean, we get people in, and they're giving, they're trying to fit us into what they're doing because they're doing, a lot of these musicians are doing their own streams, and they're having to keep income coming in, so they like to put on they like to put on these small concerts themselves, and a lot of them will put out a sign and accepting tips and whatnot. And also remember that also message some of the musicians we have on and ask them how you can get them a tip, because they're doing this out of the goodness of their heart. And we're one of those. We're going to try to get some tip too, but yeah, they're all doing this out of the goodness of their heart. They've taken a big buzz, and a lot of the professional, which most of them are, most of the musicians that you've heard on, I think with the exception of one, is there are professional musicians. So keep that in mind when it comes time to tips and so on. And I've urged all of them to put tip link, because they all have like PayPal accounts and so on. Um, Boy, that's it. I'm going to start wrapping it up, and so I can go enjoy WGN and see what they have to say more about their decision to pull the plug on the press conference yesterday. Yeah, I know it angered a lot of people, but I got to say I agree with it. When a press conference becomes counterproductive, then people can't hear that. People are hurting out there, and they just need to forget that stuff. And and again, talking about hurting and trying to relieve pain. Hats off to all the entertainers out there. You know who they are. You got them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. They have been playing their souls out for people to keep them happy, just to keep people happy. And boy, just to tell people thank you for supporting us. Now it's time for us to turn around and support you. Lovely efforts. A lot of these musicians, entertainers are now concentrating on their organizations they set up to help people. Boy, what a better way to say thanks to people who bought tickets and bought their music and supported them down the road. So, yeah. And I think we're going to just start wrapping things up here again. And again, I'm going to just review a couple of things here. Yeah, with regard to our schedule, we've got Habitat for Humanity coming on tomorrow at 11. And then we have David Benjamin coming on today at 11. So stay tuned for that. Let me just close that. Yeah, David Benjamin is a very skilled writer, mystery writer. He's an extensive writing background in writing essays, writing short stories and mysteries. So we're excited about having him on the show. He's got quite a few books out there, and he's actually created his own book name. So we're going to talk about that and distributing how to get his books. So please tune in for that. I'm looking at his biography. He is an amazing, amazing person. And for you guys who listen to our Wisconsin show, this may be another reason to tune in our show than just to hate the Bears. Yeah, think about that. Yeah, we are actually bringing another person on from Wisconsin to highlight Wisconsin. Yeah, yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, do you guys ever bring Chicago people up there to go on your networks? No, I don't think so, Joe. You ought to do that sometime. I'm telling you. Chicago people are getting fed up with you cheeseheads up there. Ah, yeah, life is fun. Right, Belinda? Yeah, they have some Chicago people up in Wisconsin. Talk to them a bit. Yeah. All right. With that, I will put Joey away and wrap it up so you guys can get on with your morning. We love you. You know, Kelly and I absolutely love all you people that have supported us and love what we do. It's what we do. So, yeah, we love all you guys. We love you, Belinda. We love you, Robin, and all of the other people out there that listen to us. And this morning show has taken on a thing of its own. I mean, I thought, is it really worth it? Then when the views hit like 1.2K, I'm like, guess someone's listening. I gotta just yeah, you have a great day, Belinda. When this is all over, we got to get down there again. And we really enjoyed that. Oh, man, they've got a great bed and breakfast right next to the golf course. Beautiful. And, oh, boy, what a beautiful course and country club they have down there. So with that, we will say goodbye for now and wish you all a happy, safe day. Remember, if you're going out, boy, I gotta remember to change scene. See, this is it. Low production people. That's what you get. That's what you get. You guys all have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. And don't forget to tune in today. We're going to have the author on today. And tomorrow we are going to have another concert. Habitat for Humanity is going to be on talking about their virtual run. And that's it for now. We wish you all a safe day. Take care. We love you. Have a very safe, enjoyable day. Goodbye for now.